Okay, so we're going to do a quick fusion tutorial that I have copied off a fellow YouTuber on a skateboard that I'm doing. And so I've tried to interpret the CAD workings of, it's eluding me at this point, but another CAD program. And we'll go from there. So I don't know, I've made this up. Some of the things might work. It all seems to come together, but it could be a little bit different. Anyway, let's head over to Fusion. As you can see, I've got my Z-axis pointing towards the top, which is slightly different than what I was following, but we'll go with that. Going into the data panel and into our skateboard project that we're going to be working with, the first part that we're going to be looking at is our base plate. So essentially I've already made this. What I'm going to do is jump back through the timeline and try and sort of step you through how I've constructed this. I think I did make a little bit of a mistake in terms of where these holes are. I had that orientated the wrong way around, but we'll go from, as we go along, we'll try and resurrect that and do it the right way. So we'll see how we go. So that's what it looks like. We're going to basically go back to the beginning, and the first part that we're going to do is we're going to create a sketch. That sketch is going to be on our XY plane, which is our bottom plane that's there. So I'm just going to jump forward one step. And we've got our sketch, although you can't see it. So I'm going to double click on that. Just right click and edit sketch, just to bring that up so you can see that. So your first sketch that you're going to do is a centered rectangle. So if you go to the rectangle tool, you've got a center rectangle. And essentially what you do is you click in the middle and then you drag out from that. So I want you to click in the middle where the origin point is there, and then drag out diagonally. Once you've done that, then use the dimension tool that's there, and you apply the dimensions of 56 at one end and 78 on the other. And then you're going to use the fillet tool, which is this one here, and this is going to put a fillet on each of the corners. And the fillet is a radius of 6 millimeters. It's just down there. I'll make it a bit clearer. So that's your first step. Do that rectangle and make that the dimension 78 by 56 with radiuses of 6 on all the corners. Once you've done that, hit finish sketch, and then your next one is you're going to be doing a extrusion. Now the extrusion's not quite straightforward, but this is the extrude tool up here, or you can press E on the keyboard. So if I right click and go edit feature on the extrusion, you can see that we've extruded at 5.8 millimeters, but we've actually put a slight taper on that, and the taper is at 5 degrees. Now if you look at it sort of side on, you can just see that these are gently sloping inwards. So we've got a taper of -5 degrees on our extrusion, and bring that up, and that's the first step. So hit OK. I'm just going to cancel out of that. So there's our extrusion, our block. Next point from there is going to jump forward a step. We've got another sketch coming on. Let's hit edit sketch and see what I've done here. So we've got a rectangle here. Again, using that center point rectangle. So there's the center point of the rectangle. We've drawn that just slightly off center, so don't draw it on there, otherwise it will snap to the origin. So draw your rectangle so it's just up and away from the middle, and then you're going to use the dimension tool to make it 54 millimeters by 42 millimeters, and apply a dimension between the center of the rectangle and the origin point, and distance that at 3 millimeters. So we're lifting up that square by 3 millimeters from the top, and then apply a vertical constraint. So we've got a constraint there, and we want to lock that in. So we're going to click on the vertical between that dot, and that's what those little symbols there just mean. So we've got a vertical constraint on that. Once we've done that, we're going to hit finish sketch, and then we're going to move forward another one. Now this time I've used the hole command, and I've put 4 holes in there. So one of the things with the hole command, if I go edit feature, you can see that we've been able to pick up the corners of where our sketch was. Now our holes are just 10 millimeter holes, and they are going through all of it. So distance is through all. You can see that I've actually done it from the bottom. So I've drawn that sketch on the bottom face, sorry, not the top face, and you can see that those holes are going all the way through the object to cut. you can see that's bottom because it's got bottom there. So go OK with that. Technically it won't really matter whether you're going from the top or from the bottom, but as long as your holes go all the way through, we should be good to go. Next step, we're going at another sketch going on here. Now this is a little bit tricky. What we've got going on is this funny sort of a shape, and it is mirrored. So this side is mirrored from this side. So you're basically going to draw this shape here, and then you're going to mirror that to the other side. And I think I've got that on the right one. Yes, I have. Okay. So what we've got is we've used a spline tool. So if you go to the create and spline, and I did a fit point spline, and then start at the top here, work your way around. So it's going to be 1 click, 2 clicks, 3 clicks, 4. And then you're going to put dimension the reference points there, 10 millimeters from that to the edge, 16 from the top to the bottom, 15 and 15, or 15.3, sorry, and 15 respectively. And the last one to make sure that these are 38 millimeters apart from the center. And then you're going to do a tangent constraint, which is this constraint here, tangent, between the top of this arc and the edge that's there. Now there is 2 edges there, just keep that in mind. There's that one and that one. So I've picked the inside edges on all of mine. Okay, so we've got those. Once you've done all that and we've got all your constraints, again, they're locked in, then we can use the create, we can mirror, and you can select that line and mirror that around the origin. If I push this sideways a bit, you will see it. There's the origin plane there, or origin, the y-axis, and you can mirror around that so you can get that to the other side. So that's what we're wanting to do. So we haven't got any, what's going on with my mouse? It's having a bit of a hissy fit, is it? Let's see if we can get this going again. It's stuck in limbo. So we haven't got any angles or degrees on any of those arcs. They are what they are. Let's see if I can get out of this. It's still attached to that. I wonder how that's done that. That's interesting. Alright, let's try this, see if we can get that right. Might have to open and close it again. So once you've done that, go finish sketch. And I'm just going to close this. And I'm not going to save it. I'll try opening that again and see if my mouse is still stuck to it. No, it's not. I don't know what was going on there. Where do we get to? Let's bring it back. Okay, so once we've done that with the sketch, and you need to go all the way around, make sure it's a closed sketch. So you will need to, once you've done the outline of that, draw a singular line going across the bottom between these 2 dots here. Draw a single line across there. Okay. So once we've done all that, we're going to go finish sketch. You're then going to extrude that, and the extrusion again has got a taper on it. So if we bring that up, you can see that we've extruded at 25 millimeters, and we've got a taper angle of -12. And then you go OK. They'll give you that shape there. And we'll do a couple more steps here, and then we'll do a second video. Now we're going to draw a sketch on the center plane. So you can see there's a sketch going through there, and we've drawn that on the YZ plane. So if I right click on that and go edit sketch, we can see what we've got. So that's your sketch there. And you can use the project geometry to project the body that you've got. So if you go up to create and you go project and go project, you'll get this window here, and you can either specify entities or you can specify the whole body. So if you have that, you can mouse over it and you can pick up the edges. I don't know whether you can see that in the video, but it is going red. So you can use the edges there. Once you've projected those edges, when you try to draw on them, your dots will snap to those. Okay, the endpoints will snap to those lines, and if they don't, you can use the coincident constraint to constrain those to that. Okay, so we've got another spline going on here. We've got a straight line, 22, we've got a curve going up, and then 25. Now, we've got a tangent between these two here and a tangent between these two here. And then we've got angles that are going on, so it's 25 degrees between 20 degrees between this line and the base, and 20 degrees between that line and the base. And then this dot is 24 up, and obviously this one here is 30 up. So it's not quite at the top. You should have a little gap there. You see there's a gap. Okay, so it should be that. So that's your sketch. There you go, finish sketch. And so that sketch is hiding on that plane that's in there. Now if you have problems with that, you can zoom out so you can see the plane. You click on that, right click on that, and go to where is it, create sketch, and that'll get you there. Or alternatively, you can also go to your origin and you can go to the YZ and you can right click on that and go create sketch that way too. So either way of those, one of those ways would work. Okay, once we're going to do that, we're going to extrude this, and we'll do this as the last little step, and then I'll make my next video. Edit feature, so you can see that we've done this as a cut. It's going a cut, and it's going all the way through, and it's symmetric, meaning that it's going both ways from that plane. So if I do this, you can see there's the center plane, and it's going equally this distance and that distance from that plane. So that's your symmetrical cut, which will leave you this shape here. Now, make sure this is a trick that I think I almost got caught out on. The holes that are closer to the edge, so you can see that these holes are closer to this edge than these holes are closer to that edge. So make sure that the rounded end of the shape is at the same end as the holes that are closer to the edge. And the ones that are further away should marry up where these sort of groove indent parts are on the side there. So that's the way you want to have that orientated. Make sure those holes match up to the shape that you've got. And we'll leave that here for that first video. Hopefully you can follow that along. Part 2 of the base plate will be coming up shortly, and we'll whiz through that.